Welcome to Cowboys Talk.
Not a losing season.
Romo? No, he didn't have a losing season, just not a non-successful season, as far as playoff. He only has one playoff victory.
And that's actually two. But that's
he
actually
has
his
two?
coach. Yes, he does. Actually, his coach is the problem with that.
09 and
He has two.
14?
He has two.
He has two in all them years, huh?
Yeah. Thanks to his coach.
So you go from...
And proper staff, the coaching. Yeah, there's a whole lot that goes with it. But, like I said, no one talks about that because it's always the quarterback's fault.
We're speaking on, right quick, how Tony Romo and his career with the Cowboys, and we were just talking about how he didn't have a losing seasons that he, played in. The 2015 season, he was injured pretty much the whole season. Mm-hmm. He only had, two playoff victories?
Mm-hmm. And the weird thing
2009 and 2014.
And everything people blame Dak's shortcomings on with the same stuff that he had going on while he was there. So it's like, okay, so it's his fault, their fault that Dak is struggling like he is, but it doesn't count for the other guy. And that doesn't make sense to me.
Well, Dak is one of the most scrutinized quarterbacks
because
in football
now, and so with Romo, simply because you wear the star on your helmet.
That's right.
Simply because you wear the star on your helmet, you're there.
Something that we talked about with Ben Roethlisberger, Romo was the same way. Romo never owned up to his errors.
Well, no, he didn't because
he
most
did
of the
later
time
in his years.
Because most of the time his coach was throwing him under the bus.
Yep, and he let that. He never said nothing.
No.
He never said that, that interception against the Giants in the divisional playoff game in 2007. He never said, you know what, that was a bad play. I had T.O. wide open down that way, but I want to throw it to Terry Glenn, who just came off the injured reserve list.
But you know the weird thing is, in private, as we found out with interviews with his wife and a couple other people, anytime Dallas suffered something, even when it's not his fault, like the defensive breakdown against Minnesota, against Brent Favre, he shouldered that all himself. You didn't see it, but she said it was plenty of times where he would leave and he would just cry because he felt he let everybody down. Even when it wasn't his fault, he cried because he let everybody down.
Yeah, the Minnesota game
was crazy, but everybody blamed him for that loss. Romo couldn't get the ball to move, but the defense couldn't stop the damn tissue from breaking when someone sneezed.
They didn't, in these 3 years, you really couldn't go at and say, Dak, oh yeah, you're the reason why. You're the reason why. Because people wise the hell up and realize there's more going on than just what's on the field. And that's what, unfortunately, the fans and the media, they really didn't see that when Romo was going through. They didn't look at Jason Garrett. They didn't want to realize and recognize the snake that Jason Garrett was in the sabotaging Wade Phillips, like how he did.
Yes, he did.
So they wasn't talking about that.
And never having a solid enough defense to hold water. A prime example was when he was in New England and drove them down the score, and all they had to do was get one stop of Brady and Country. And they let them come down the field and score that touchdown.
The late Aaron Hernandez with the touchdown.
I said, this is unfreaking believable.
Cowboys fans, when you think about Romo, yes, he made some errors and things of that nature. But you got to look at that defense too. You got to look at that defense. A lot of times the Cowboys had the lead, and the defense just sort of just let them go right down the field.
As you said, that Olay defense.
Olay. They had that Olay defense from 06 to 15, 17.
Now, see, I'll defend Romo, and I'm not going to say he never made mistakes in bonehead plays because he made plenty. And that one you spoke of was the biggest one I've seen. One of the biggest ones I've seen. But to not do it as a whole and still going by, you live and die by your quarterback. He gets all the praise when you win, but he shoulders all the blame when you lose. But when you look at it and you're trying to shift blame, you can't say that this is hindering one person, but it didn't hinder the other one who was there longer, who tried his best to win and had to shoulder everything. He didn't have the running back to DeMarco Murray. And what happened? They didn't want to pay him and he went elsewhere.
Let Romo have this current Dallas Cowboy team right now.
Oh,
I think the Cowboys. If Tony Romo was the quarterback of this current, even this particular season. With the offensive line injuries. The offensive line was still solid enough.
Right. And he was nimble enough on his feet to move.
Oh, and you still had Ezekiel Elliott. Oh, my goodness.
And the worst thing is, we have to ever get back to what we really talk about. But the biggest thing about that is, we saw how well and how accurate he was when he had the running game. Oh. When Murray was really running the ball, and how accurate he was because he kept the defense honest, because you didn't know he was going to break off a 40-yard run, so you froze during play action, and everything downfield opened up. That was the last time Terrence Williams actually played the game.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Mr. Terrence Williams.
Right, so we're good with Mr. Romo for now.
We'll talk about Mr. Terrence Williams. But let's talk about this front office for the Dallas Cowboys. Are we to believe, like how the Philadelphia 76ers, remember they were saying, trust the process? Are we to believe that the Dallas Cowboys told us for the last few years, just trust the process? Because now they have this crazy cap space. They only have like $4 million in dead money. Wow.
I got to say this, and people will say that I'm wrong, but I got to say this.
Say it.
That guy with the frown on his face on the other side, when he started really putting in his input and telling his father to shut up, things started to turn around.
I think I got it.
But when he started to take over, and it really started when he told him, "Don't you dare draft Johnny Football," and they had that argument in the war room. Since he had really started to take shape and take a leadership role and to tell his dad, "You need to be quiet about some of this stuff," they have progressively gotten better.
Yeah, it's very clear that Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones' son, is more involved in the day-to-day operations of the Dallas Cowboys. And one move that they had to make is not renewing Mr. Terrence Williams. Ooh, standing up for that one.
I said for years. Remember I kept saying the dude disappeared for years. When Dez got hurt and he had to become the number one, he hasn't appeared since. About time he gone. Should have been gone a long time ago. Punk.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some others that need to be gone. But Terrence Williams, the only thing I'm going to give Terrence Williams is that Terrence Williams was one of the best in the NFL at catching them sideline passes.
Toe tag swag.
Yes, toe drag swag. Mr. Terrence Williams, he made one of the best catches I ever seen.
That was Seattle game?
In Seattle.
Woo! He came across?
Looked like it was going to Witten, and instead he came out of nowhere and
brought it in.
But he's not going to get re-signed by the Cowboys, which is a good thing.
They didn't need him last year.
Well, they didn't. He was too busy running into fire hydrants. I don't know.
All I know is I'm hoping that Hearns come back fully healthy, because the young boy Gallup, if that can get his timing down with this kid, like he got the connection with Cooper, they will be all right. And I always said that was the one thing that Dez kept missing, was a solid 2 to draw attention. Well,
they got a lot of pieces, and Terrence Williams is not one of them.
Thank goodness gracious.
Yes. Also, it looks like they didn't re-sign David Irvin as well. David Irvin is hoping that the Cowboys re-sign him back. But I'm fine with if they don't get him back, I'm good with that, because he has shown, this is what he has shown us, the fans.
Right.
He is unreliable. He's not available.
That's right.
I get it. David Irvin has a lot of personal problems, with the baby mother and his daughter. So
right.
I get that, but if you're not there, you're not there. And
you have to do something to get your life in order for you to concentrate on football when it's time for football.
Well, hey, you can say football, just say your job.
Yeah, that's true.
Your job. I mean,
right.
Your job ain't going to sit around and be like, well, they can, but,
And the baby mama's stupid. Come on. This dude is on the brink of millions.
Millions.
And all you got to do is sit back and collect the check.
Well, she falls into that trap of a lot of them that's, thinking one-sided, short-term thinker. I'm just going to stick it to him now.
Go down the check.
All she had to do was just sit back. Oh yeah, I don't like you, but you know what? You're going to make that money. I'm just going to be cool
And
because I do have your child.
As soon as you sign that big humongous contract,
I'm out.
Go to child support court and say, hey, I need to take care of his daughter. What the court would have did, we're going to make sure she's living in the lifestyle that she's accustomed to. Yep. And you would have been getting fat checks enough to pay for you, your boyfriend, and your boyfriend mama to live in the house.
And your husband. David Irvin, if he goes, he goes. I don't know.
Hey, your husband.
Hey, congratulations, I guess, to her. I guess she figured she stuck it to him. But probably end up screwing yourself.
There you go.
But let's move on. Sean Lee.
He's
a Cowboy favorite. Sean Lee.
He needs to retire. That's become a linebacker coach.
Yeah. Do you think they should cut him too, or not? Should get rid of him?
I think they should do what they didn't do for Romo. Offer him a coaching position and get him on the coaching side of things. Yeah. Because you are set with these young studs at linebacker. Mm-hmm. Why you when he started, I'm like, why are you disrupting the chemistry? Why are you disrupting the chemistry?
Terrible. Keep it short and sweet. I say get rid of him. Yeah. Okay. Demarcus Lawrence.
Sign him.
Right now. Hopefully within the next few, you hear a little bing. Demarcus Lawrence signs whatever the money is.
Man.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good move.
That'll be a good move.
That'll be a good move, I think. He is one of the best,
defensive linemen
in football.
Yeah.
So give it to him. He's been there and he's worked.
Yes, he has.
He has worked. So I say,
and his motor don't stop.
And his motor don't stop.
He never gives up.
He had 10.5 sacks this year. The other year he had about 17, 18. So he's over that 10. He's doing his work. He's doing his job. Cowboys need to get somebody on that other side.
So he can break free.
Yeah, get on that other side.
You got the cap space.
Go do it. Now, let's start with Dakota.
Dakota Rain.
Dakota Prescott, America's quarterback. I don't know. You know what? I'm just going to leave it to the organization. As far as what to do, as far as signing him, getting him signed, because he's going into his 4th year, and, this is the last year of his rookie
contract,
deal.
Yeah.
Him and Zeke. So they got some stuff to figure out. Because
Which
Zeke.
he best to get paid.
He's been the leading rusher 2 of the 3 years, and would have been the 3 years. He would have had it if that whole fiasco didn't happen.
Yeah, let's not even get into that.
But
my thing is, honestly, let's go to midseason. We got we're getting rid of your the dummy who was calling the retarded plays.
Yeah.
We got you in a quarterback's coach that has the credentials.
Yeah.
To help you along. Let's see how you grab this. And if you're all right by mid-season and you're producing, let's get you signed and let's get you paid. That's the way I would do it.
I like that. I feel that he has to show some now. It's really on Dak right now because you got a full offseason with Amari Cooper. You got Gallup a year under his belt. These tight ends, Schultz and Blake Jarwin, who I really like, and hopefully they can get Rico in there. Do not draft a tight end.
No.
Don't go in free agency and get a tight end.
No.
Let these guys
time
go.
to get a backup for Tyron.
Yes. That should be their main focus.
Get a backup for Tyron.
So you can protect and hopefully Travis Frederick comes back.
They say he's doing well.
Hopefully he can come back.
Well. Because you don't want what happened to Mr. Romo to happen to him, where you let that line just slide all the way down and hoping that his athleticism saves him. That's not going to fly.
It ain't going to happen. So hopefully I think they should, like what you said, I like that. Play him and then sign him during the season. And I like where this young man is coming from. We're going to talk about Dak and future Cowboys at another time. We're going to talk about Zeke too.
Okay.
Because he going to get paid.
Oh, Zeke better get paid. He don't get paid, I'm boycotting. I'm serious about that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to burn. I ain't going to burn no jerseys. Screw that. I pay too much money for them things. But I'm going to have to boycott. You don't sign. You did it twice.
Well, we'll get to it. Folks, that's all the time we have. Hope you enjoy Cowboy Talk. Peace.